Hello, welcome back to the second lesson of our Scratch Code Space Tech Challenge. My name is Miss Adira from the Trenton Free Public Library on 120 Academy Street, and today we are going to continue with our spaceship. In the first lesson, we worked on constructing a rocket ship and having it escape the surface of the Earth's gravity with thrust. We discovered that the gravity of Earth is 9.8 meters, and that thrust needs to exceed this in order for liftoff. Now, our rocket ship has escaped the orbit of the Earth and we are in space. But how do we get around now? How do we move in space? Once again, we are going to use our navigation bar to go to scratch.mit.edu and press on Start Creating. Mr. Kitty has to leave again. Sorry, Mr. Kitty. We have to set up our space scene. First, we are going to look at the far right-hand side of the screen and find the Choose a Backdrop button. Then we are going to choose the background stars. Next, we are going to use the Scratch Program's drawing tool and make our own rocket ship from scratch. Next to the backdrop button is the sprite option. Hover over so the menu pops up and then choose the paint option. It will take you to the screen we used to draw the background for our first rocket ship. We are going to press Convert to Bitmap and then select the rectangle tool and make sure it is set to filled, and pick out a light gray color by decreasing the saturation and brightness levels. Click and drag the cursor to create a rectangle ship about this big. Next, select the line tool and choose a darker gray for the front of the rocket ship. We are also going to increase the thickness of the line to have a solid front for our rocket ship. The lines are going to form a triangle, so they will point inward from the front of the rectangle in order to meet at the front of the rocket ship. Then choose a darker gray color for the engine. These lines are going to go outwards from the ship. We are going to need a third line to make sure that the engine lines connect correctly. To make our engine and our front of our rocket look more full, we are going to use the fill tool and color it in with the same dark gray color we used for the outline of the engine. Now the outside of the rocket ship is almost complete. We are going to zoom in and choose our brush tool to create outside thrusters on our ship. These outside thrusters help the rocket ship have more precise control over the direction of the ship. Two on the top and bottom of the front of the ship can help move the rocket in the left and right directions. Each of these circles represents one thruster, and we are making 4 for each side. If you need to zoom in to see your circles like I am, use the zoom button on the bottom right. Our rocket ship won't be able to use its thrusters unless we show it. We are going to right-click on our rocket ship and duplicate the ship 4 times. Each of these duplicates is going to be a unique image of the rocket ship using its thrusters. Choose the first duplicate and then the brush tool. Set the color to red or orange and fill in the back of the ship with flames. I decided to add both red and orange to the flame to make it look more realistic. Once we finish adding flames to the ship, it's on to the next frames. The last two need us to add flames to the thrusters. Make each flame either an orange or a red color. Now that we have made the frames for our rocket ship to move in space, all that's left to do is code. This code starts off again with needing to define our first variable, speed. Go to the variable category and create the variable named speed. Now that speed has been created, find the event block when green flag clicked in the events category. Next, we are going to set the size of our rocket ship to 25% with the set size block from the looks category. With our speed variable created, we are going to need to define speed. In the variables category, choose the Set My Variable block, and in the drop-down menu, change the variable name to speed. Leave the amount in the window at 0. In the control category, find the Forever block and drag it below the Set block. Inside of the Forever block, we are going to have multiple if statements. First, we are going to tell the program to switch into Costume 1, or our starting image for our rocket ship. Then we will drag an if block from the control category. Inside of the blank space in the if block, find the key space press button in the sensing category and insert. Below that, from looks category, should be the block switch costume, and this time set the switch to costume 2. And underneath that, we are going to bring a set speed button like the one from above, except this time we are going to set the speed to 0.1. Now we are going to bring another if statement block inside of the Forever block. Before the then statement, we are going to insert, as before, the key press block. Make sure it is underneath the first if block, but still inside of the Forever block. This time the key is left arrow. Our costume will change again as well to costume 3. And then we are going to go into the motion category and choose the turn left block. And change the degree to 5. We are going to drag one last if-then statement into the forever block. Just like the last ones, we are going to add a key press block. This time the key being pressed is the right arrow key. This will make the rocket switch over to costume 4. And then turn the ship right by 5 degrees. Finally, we are going to add one last move block. It's okay if you struggle with finding the right block to put into the code. Inside of the block, we are going to add our variable speed. This is the end of our programming, and now we can test our code. Press the green flag to get started with the space button. Press the left arrow key and the right arrow key